Sponsored by CuriosityStream. Get access to my streaming video service, Nebula, when you sign up for CuriosityStream using the link in the description. Okay, so I've done a bunch of videos now saying why I think the Apple Watch is absolutely the most important device Apple has ever made, the most important consumer electronics device ever made, and basically my choice for gadget of the last damn decade, because it saves lives and it does it by design. A lot of the credit for that goes to watchOS, the software that drives the watch hardware. It's what's given us all those life-saving features like heart rate notifications, fall detection, and the ECG app. And while the current watchOS 6 bits are, of course, the best ones yet, there's still a lot more I'd like to see with watchOS 7. I'm Rene Ritchie, and this is Vector. Always On is great. It finally lets the Apple Watch work as, a watch. But there are still a couple things that would make it even better for me. First, the ability to handle basic interactions even while in always on mode. Right now, if I don't move enough to trigger a wake up, I try to swipe down to see a notification and nothing happens. Then I typically swipe down again. Only then do I remember to tap to wake it up and swipe again a third time to finally see my notification. It would be great if a swipe would also wake up the display. I mean, it would be even greater if it would just wake up and show me the notification at the same time, but at least adding swipe to the wake up gestures would mean my second reflex swipe would actually show the notification and save me not only time, but so many eye rolls. What will also be great is Always On extended to ultra low power mode. I mean, I know that sounds contradictory, but the way low power mode currently works, you have to press the button to get the time. A version that keeps the time on, even if it doesn't last quite as long, would be great for travel if you forget your charger and need to survive, but also need to keep time. I know some people still want a watch face store as well. Apple would never allow or be able to allow the wanton copyright abuse that happened on a lot of other watch stores over the years, so it'd probably end up to be something like the iMessage store. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I mean, Baby Yoda, all the faces, but what I'd love to see even more is the ability to better customize my own faces. This one has been on my wish list for years. Give me a face where I can set a background image or series of them, and then a full suite of infograph level complications, analog or digital, that I can customize right on top of them. Then I can make my own Baby Yoda face, personal, fair use, or Superman face, or anything else I want. Shortly after the Apple Watch was introduced, Apple added time travel. With it, you could use the digital crown to scroll backwards and forwards through datasets, see what was and what would be. But shortly after that, Apple took time travel away again from everything but the Solar Watch face. Now, every time I look at my current event on the infographic face and try to scroll to see what's next or what happened earlier, nothing happens. It just stays stuck there, and part of my childlike sense of wonder just stays stuck there with it. Ideally, every large-sized main complication would have a list function that could easily be scrolled through with the digital crown. Because any watch face where you use the digital crown and absolutely nothing happens is just a waste of the watch's most unique interactive mechanic. It's funny, for a company like Apple that prides itself on continuity of experience, the iPad and Apple Watch have always been lacking some of the iPhone apps that would allow exactly that type of experience. Last year, with watchOS 6, we marked down asterisk finally asterisk got voice memos and calculator, but still no notes. Now, sure, there are phenomenal third-party alternatives like Drafts, where you can dictate right into the watch and then edit and extend on the iPhone or iPad or whatever. But Drafts does so much more as well, and that basic functionality should also be default functionality for people who use the default Notes app. And that means we need the default Notes app on the watch. Basically, every default app from the iPhone should just be everywhere. Otherwise, it compromises their full value, that continuity of experience everywhere. The Apple Watch launched with basic exercise coaching and tracking, and it's been improving ever since. It added breathing in short order. Nutrition aside, about the biggest feature still missing is sleep tracking and coaching. There are a bunch of third-party apps that do provide it for watchOS, including Bedit, which Apple bought back in May of 2017, but still nothing built in. And most importantly, nothing power efficient. I can imagine Apple putting out an entirely new watch that's optimized for sleep tracking, where it goes into an ultra-low power mode overnight and does nothing but track sleep, along with even faster charging when you do need to top it up. But I'd love to see that mode also come as a watchOS software update to all recent devices, and an API, application programming interface, so that any sleep tracking app could tap into it. And, of course, the big one. With Always On now handled, this year it's moving to the top of my list. Apple Watch independence. Right now, if you want an Apple Watch, you need to have an iPhone as well. Not just in general, to use or set up your Apple Watch, but in perpetuity to handle some of the telephony and other basic features and updates going forward. The iPhone and iPad used to be like that as well, tied to iTunes on the Mac or Windows PC. But with iOS 5 and iCloud, they were set PC free. The Apple Watch is a far more limited and constrained device than even the earliest iPhones and iPads. It just can't carry the power and doesn't have the screen size necessary to manage everything on device the way those devices can. But we're getting there. We even got an on-device app store last year. Now, because the Apple Watch screen is so small, I don't want Apple to tear all the functionality out of the iPhone Watch app the way they did eventually iTunes. It's just so much easier to use there. In fact, I'd love an iPad Watch and Activity app as well. Hell, an Android one, just like iTunes for Windows, which made all this halo effect stuff possible to begin with. I'm just hoping we've reached the point where anyone, iPhone or no iPhone, can buy an Apple Watch, slap it on, and get up and literally running with other devices as beneficial enhancements, not limitations, but real, full-on Apple Watch freedom, because that's what it's all about. Same thing with Nebula, the streaming platform I'm building with a group of other education creators like HBomberGuy, Thomas Frank, Sarah Z, Second Thought, Low Spec Gamer, Polyphonic, City is Beautiful, and many, many more. We're building it because we want a place where creators can try out new content ideas that might not work on YouTube, or simply for people who don't want to watch on YouTube. Originals like Sarah Z, Debater Theater, all about the art of learning hyper-specialized debate skills. For just $19.99 a year, for the whole year, you get access to both CuriosityStream with documentaries like Amazing Dino World, where you can see the new discoveries of dinosaur fossils that are completely changing what we know about the animals that lived on our planet millions of years ago. By signing up, you won't just be helping me out, but the entire educational community as we work together to build a place where we can create the exact kind of content you really want us to create. Just go to curiositystream.com/vector for unlimited access to the world's top documentaries and nonfiction series, and now Nebula as well. And enter the promo code VECTOR to start your membership completely free for the first 31 days. Thanks CuriosityStream, and thanks to all of you for supporting the show. So that's what I'd love to see in watchOS 7 this June at WWDC 2020. But now I'd love to hear from you. Hit like if you do, hit subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel. Digital crown that bell gizmo so YouTube will actually alert you when new episodes go live. Then hit up the comments and let me know. Thanks for watching. See you next video.